So I think that there must be something else that they can do with that chip plus mage combination, instead of just thinking in one sense whereby, okay, we want to come out safe, so we gotta have to pop something almost immediately after coming out of the shortcut.
You know what the chip and Audette wombo combo reminds me of? The Johnson Audette wombo combo.
Okay.
Just that Johnson just drives around, but the chip can appear anywhere.
Yep.
And brings you immediately.
Your team is
Yep.
banning.
That's right.
So I think it's kind of an interesting match. It's a very interesting combo coming off from RSG.
Rocks
Kingdom
need
Esports
no
was able to
protection
Your team
from
is
the
because of
rain.
the Ling pick. I feel because once in the later part of the game, the Ling is going to up a lot of damage. Slash, and then after that proceeds on. Not to also remember, Alice is a way to deal with your chip, your enemy chip, because of you just match ultimate. Ultimate, eventually you should get the benefit.
Thorns remain.
Too, right?
Your
Everybody
team
comes
is
on the
banning.
shortcut. Yes, you're down low because of the Swan Song, but because everybody is there, you're just absorbing every single HP bars away.
Now that I think about it, it's not only just that as well, right? Because there is also this thing whereby there are two heroes that can close the distance without eating that entire Swan Song damage, which is exactly what we saw in the previous fight, or rather the last fight. We have the Tempest of Blades plus the AOG that literally land right on top of the Odette, deals full
call
damage
me
to
a
him,
hero
kills
because I
kills
saved
him,
my nation
and
from
they
falling
didn't even
apart.
suffer a single point of damage.
Yep. Alright, let's talk about the bans, ladies and gents. RSG takes away the Juicin, Uranus and Lancelot. Kingdom Esports takes away the Kimi, Baxia, and also the Ishin Shin, right? Once again, I really don't like the Ishin Shin. Still, in my opinion, not ban-worthy unless you know the enemy is super crazily good on this Ishin Shin.
So Lance is also out of the equation.
Yep, once again.
Hayabusa first pick can still be a thing for PTBL, but that is also something. That also means that they can expect a link popping out for the side of KE.
Let's hear from the crowd.
Yep, CC.
Make some noise
Opener.
for yours
It reminds
truly.
you, last season where CC was quite superior as an EXP laner because number one, it eliminates any form of tanky EXP laners you expect, like the likes of your High Loss, Glue immediately gets eliminated, like the Uranus, and to a certain extent the Alice as well, right, will get countered by the CC. So it's basically forcing Insanity. Do you want to go back into the Alice, or you want to go for the
Payback
Uranus,
time.
or you want to go for something else, maybe perhaps a Lapu Lapu instead?
Okay, so with the Farsa being picked up from KE, finally it's been unbanned, and we will not see the light of day for Juicin, because honestly, I was expecting to see Juicin being coming out sometime soon. But regardless,
Yeah.
Farsa joined in.
My tail's been itching
And
for a real fight. Your
Kalia.
team
So we've
is
got a pretty
banning.
good combo right off the start. Anyone that can really just deals burst damage on top of the Tsunami Slam is always going to be appreciated.
Yeah, we've seen the Kalia and Farsa wombo combo recently in the past few games, right? The fact that you can always drag somebody all the way back in into the Farsa Federal Strike, that's also one benefit. But right now, after seeing so many games of the Kalia, I feel like the Kalia is so easy counterable. Purify immediately counters what she wants to do. You draft something else that likes to get dragged in to basically get fight.
Time
You're
to
basically
drop the
providing
beat
like
of the clash.
by
get
the
closer.
heavens,
Your
I
team
will
is
protect
This
this
is
world.
a very interesting build roster coming up from RSG. A Joy and an Angela. Angela mid.
Not too sure just yet.
Yeah, definitely Angela mid, right? Unless Angela roam.
There could still be a probability of that happening.
Yep, but PTBL on the Joy is definitely a good counter against the Farsa, right? You could just literally run Farsa down and push her off the Feather Ash right now. All of a sudden, the win con for the side of RGSG just take away the Feather Airstrike.
There is, of course, still the possibility of being able to play a 1-1 to completely negate the possibility
My
of being
kiss.
slammed by
Your
the
team
slam.
is
But now
immortality
with... Okay, so
or
the Alice is
death.
still going to appear. So we should see the Alice going up against the CC in the XP. Fair enough to say that the CC will be having the field day against the Alice. So RNG basically have this idea. Now that they see the Alice, and they definitely want to play in the early stage, right? Do they really want to contest for the late game just because of the fact that they have an Alice? Do we want to pick up a Shredder just because they have an Alice?
Well, they already had CC as a Shredder, right? That's number one. Number two, there's also AoE damage coming up from RSG already. There's also got the Angela to provide the heals, especially on the CC. It's actually crazy. And not only just that, you can also land a hard guard onto the Joy as well, and just do a lot of damage.
Welcome
Survive
to Brock's
through the
Castle,
Feather
tiny
Airstrike
friend.
from the side of Kingdom Esports.
So both teams, okay, maybe not both teams, but we have a possibility of looking at one more roamer from the side of RSG. Well, in the meantime, both teams is lacking
Sir,
a gold
what's your command?
laner.
Your team
XP
is
lane
banning.
for both teams is fulfilled, and jungler, right? Jungler. So Fanny's out, Hayabusa, Ling. They're both possible iterations. Jungle is already been picked for RSG, so it's left with KE.
Yeah. But I think right now, there's no point banning away junglers unless you really don't want to see these junglers, especially assassins. I agree with the Fanny, I agree with the Lancelot. But if RSG decides to go for another assassin ban, I feel like it's a little bit too much. I feel like right now the focus should be mostly on marksmen, right? Like, there's still the Grandeur that's still available. There's also still,
vengeance
Kimi got banned away for the side of Kingdom Esports already. But now, like what I mentioned, focus
See
mostly
value
on the
in me?
marksman, right?
Your team
Moskov gets
is
banned
He
away,
should.
but RSG takes away the Fredrin instead. There's still the Akai that potentially Yon can also always bring out. There's also still like other tank junglers as well.
No patterns in the banning phase for both teams, actually. It doesn't really hint us as to what are they generally afraid of for the second phase picks, since Coach Mellon have taken out an assassin jungler and a sustained jungler. Technically, the pattern is jungler. They just want to take
It's usually the
jungler
unseen world
option.
that tells
Oh,
the
okay.
best stories.
Guinevere, like what I mentioned, another tank jungle for the side of Kingdom Esports. Once again, there's a lot of magic damage already from the side of Kingdom Esports as well, right? But the same idea is this. You want to lock somebody in using the ultimate of the Alice and also the Violet Requiem of the Guinevere as well, the Kalia to lock somebody in. There's a lot of CCs already in this current roster. You top off the damage from the side of the Farsa. RSG is going to lock in the Gato-Kacha. Gato-Kacha also pairs well with the Angela, mind you.
So now this team lacks in damage even in the early stages of the game. So I would like to believe that the gold laner that they are gonna be picking out needs to be enabled pretty early into the
We
game.
can win the race against
And
Your
that's a
team is
Bruno.
picking.
Alright, Bruno kind of works.
Bruno works.
Very high damage power spike. Once you pick up the Heart's Claws, we'll be able to heal. Also, early game lane bully. Now Kingdom Esports need to
Probably not,
match
yeah.
that gold lane aggression.
Probably not Heart's Claw's first item. Considering the fact that they do have an Angela on their side, I think that they can play a lot more reckless and a little bit more gambly style. Just go straight for the Berserker's Fury and hope to be able to win in the early game fights. Because at this point in time, drag out the games is something that their lineup can definitely do. Gato-Kacha picking up the Revitalize. You also have the Angela that could pick up Revitalize for themselves. It's just endless amount of healing and
Time
really
and
good
tide
front
wait for no
lines.
man.
Oh,
nor
you
girl.
spoke about the Beatrix.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Beatrix, right? Because Kingdom Esports has a lot of AoEs right there. So on top of the AoE, the second best one, if you're not going to go for magic damage, since you're literally going in mostly for magic damage already, I was thinking Mage Bane as well. But I mean, like, hey, Beatrix fits that bill.
Oh, definitely interesting considering the fact that KE, this is a lot of magical damage on their side.
Yeah.
With only Beatrix as the physical damage. The other pattern that we have here is also they're all female characters.
Oh. I was actually trying to root for Bane right there. For Grant. I don't know why I'm so excited for Mage Bane because it's so funny.
But I always say that is only enabled if you have a Yusujin, because you need that marksman insurance somewhere else.
What do you need a marksman for? It's funny coming up
That's
from
why
me.
it's called insurance, right?
It's funny it's coming up from me as
you
a gold
as a
laner.
marksman.
Yeah, it's a marksman player. but maybe
What do you need
because
marksman?
of the whole
Existential
meta has
crisis.
shifted, yeah.
Welcome.
And it was going to go to
Mobile
game number 3,
Legends.
ladies and gents. RSG Singapore and Kingdom Esports vying for the match point. And it all starts with this one. Now, Angela is going to be a little bit interesting in the mid lane because Farsa should have a better rotation.
Definitely.
But a wave 2 speed for an Angela in the early game is actually quite good because of the hard waves.
Especially if you kind of pair that up with the Gatokacha, you shouldn't have too big of a problem. But the difference is that Kingdom Esports understands that just the Farsa alone can actually threaten that lane priority in the middle lane. So they don't even need a Kalia to join into the fray to help FMM. They can actually put the Kalia somewhere else. And in this case, what Kingdom Esports have decided to do is that they put Kalia together with Guinevere just so that they can clear the waves as fast as the Joy, so that they can both be on the same speed.
Yep. I think Guinevere in the early game doesn't really have much clearing speed.
Yep.
Yawn definitely needs to hit level 4 as quickly as possible. That's where the Violet Requiem really comes into play. I really want to see Lozy hard invading Joy as much as possible because don't forget, pre-level 4, this is where Joy is like technically the weakest.
And not to forget, they don't have a lot of ways to really stop Lolzy as a hero that have quite a bit of mobility, right? Sure, you got a puppet strings that can really tether onto Lolzy, but he can break that link pretty darn easily.
PTBL does hit level 4 already, that's just around. Unable to use the ultimate as of yet. You see Insanity popping up, but hold on a second. Ash, ooh, that's a lot of damage from the side of the Bruno already.
Yep, something they can definitely expect coming out of the Bruno. I do once again really hope that they don't go first item Heart's Claw, because you really need to come online soon, RSG. You don't want to wait too long to pop off.
Insanity zoning out just a little bit more, pops the ultimate. Unfortunately, Yawn goes into the turtle, takes the turtle away. FMM drop in the feather airstrike as well, but Insanity picks up first blood against BDBL, and all of a sudden Joy is able to dash around, output the damage, but don't forget, you've got an Alice that could also do the same as well.
Lost a 4v4 battle, and that is completely understandable because of the presence of the Farsa. Farsa just have got so much burst damage right at the start of the game. The moment that he reaches level 4, damn! As compared to what Angela could do. You can give shields, you can throw some hard waves and healing, but you need to be able to supplement that with decent amount of damage. And at this point in time, or rather at that point in time in the game, you can only rely on Joy, which is why Joy was the #1 target for the side of Kingdom Esports.
Yeah, and not only just that, right? I think RSG Singapore, minus the marksman, they don't really have as much damage as compared to Kingdom Esports. Yes, Alice at this current build does a lot of damage as well, even though Jinsanity builds pure tank, because it's just a numbers thing.
Yeah, it's just damage over time.
And heals over time.
Yeah, generally in most cases, in terms of overall effective damage over time will always yield more damage than burst damage, if the time allows it to.
Yeah, and the best part is, as an Alice, right, unlike a Joy, the Alice is constantly healing herself, Joy doesn't.
Oh yeah, that's true, yeah. So that's also one of the main problems, right? As long as PTBL is able to find one person to really go for the kill, and let's not forget that going for a little bit of a joy ride, just get it. Joy dashes, you know, just dashing around. It takes time for you to eventually pop off and actually be able to pop off your ultimate, right? And during that point in time, do you have jungle creeps that will allow you to jump from one place to another? Or do you have to rely on the opponents in order to hit all of your dashes? Because if you need to use your opponents for all the dashes, that is at least 3 seconds wasted to do some crazy damage.
Right now, you can see the hard guard being not the hard guard, mind you, is just the Guinevere passive stack. Ash picks up pass calls, Lozy misses, Flickers forward, will be able to throw somebody all the way into the feather ash on the side. FMM has a side step, will be unfortunately gets taken away from the feather ash strike. It's going to be Taurus getting the most of the hard guard as well, but the damage coming up from Kingdom Esports is there. We'll be able to take down 2 members easily.
No damage, but it's okay, because that is actually what RSG kind of wants, right? To pull everyone away from the top lane, leave all the farm over to Bruno. Bruno needs to hyper farm. He needs to be left alone, and voila! I now have $2,000 more than everyone else in my team, and I can actually threaten the rest of the members from KE.
Yeah, and this has been RSG SG's MO, right? Ash is always elsewhere, basically farming on the side lanes, whereas the rest of the team basically roams around S4. I'm hoping Kingdom Esports starts to identify this pattern.
I don't
punishes that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure whether they would even want to bother punishing that or not though, because as much as they managed to funnel quite a bit of farm over to Ash, technically Insanity is getting some good farm as well, because he just managed to bring down the bottom lane T1, and Grant now is able to get the top lane T1. So whatever that RSG have gotten for their overall economy is just going to lose.
Oh, look at that wombo combo coming off of Kingdom Esports. Hoki is unable to hold on to that.
Yeah, they still need a very solid front line. For RSG, they still need a solid front line.
The Gatakacha not solid enough for you?
No.
Well, evidently not.
Evidently not. As much as I really wanna say that if Ash gets at least 2-3 items, then they're gonna go crazy. But I have a feeling that Ash actually went for first item Heart's Claw.
Yes, he definitely did. First item Heart's Claws has always been a staple ever since one of his patches as well, because he's able to just absorb so much HP back, and like what you mentioned, right? DOT is better, and being able to stay in the fight longer is actually very beneficial.
But in this case, I would say that it's a lot more difficult for him to stay alive in a fight, and it's better for him to be able to immediately threaten the board because of the way that Kingdom Esports, they can just jump right in, right? They can jump right in, scoop someone in, and threaten your frontliners almost immediately.
Yep, Feather Ash once again will be laying down by the side of FMM, and now Lozi, carrying Hoki on the awkward positioning. Hoki will respond with an AOG. It's gonna be Jinsanity popping the ultimate right underneath their noses on the side of RSG Singapore, but then Jinsanity has to flicker away back to safety.
Okay, so that's a good start. RSG now have got some really good burst damage somewhere. I would still like to believe that it came from Ash. So even though he did manage to get the Heart's Claws for himself, they can still deal some good damage. Or ultimately, Taurus is also someone that can shred pretty well, right? Because, well, HP damage and all the kind of stuff. Jinsanity have also soaked in a lot of damage throughout the entirety of that fight too.
Yep. Jinsanity picks up the Oracle already. It's going to heal exponentially. You saw his pattern. He likes to build. He likes to go for his fighter emblems, especially on the Alice, right? But now it's still going to be the tempo and the momentum shifting over the side of Kingdom Esports, right? You've got like two sideways already pushed in against RSG. Singapore Jinsanity just going in once again. Lozi flickers right into what? Hoki couldn't even play MLBB at all.
Yep. The moment that he showed himself, and boom, immediately a flicker happened.
Lozi once again goes in ham onto Taurus right now, and the hard guard from the side of Murphy will be expanded onto Taurus as well, but onto the clone of Yon.
Looks like no Violet Rec Room to really extend that knock-up duration the whole time, but not too bad. It's nothing that bad after all. Kingdom Esports currently still have about 4,500 gold ahead of RSG SG, and that can actually help them so much more in the future, especially since RSG's lineup, they're actually geared to play in the early to mid stages of the game. The very fact that it's currently 9 minutes in, and they have only got 1 kill, not much of a performance boost for them just yet, just pretty much screams that they can't handle 12 minutes.
Yon spots out Taurus just a little bit. The Lord Dance will start, but if you notice from the side of RSG Singapore, they're not really setting up for this Lord though, unless Hoki decides to go for an AOG. But FMM sets up, gets cancelled by the Lord knockup instead of by the airstrike. All of a sudden, this opens up RSG Singapore to try to go all the way in. The Lord's already secure by the side of Kingdom Esports as Taurus goes all the way in the back line. AOG lands to the back as well. Grant gets shredded by the critical, but Jinsanity still alive though, still full HP bars, but the rest of the members from the side, Kingdom Esports is already down low.
It's 1-for-2 trade right now. They lost FMM and Grant, which is definitely huge, while Ash is still roaming somewhere in this map. The Lord will now be marching down to the bottom lane in favor for Kingdom Esports, but RSG, they don't care about a very slow marching Lord. Might as well just take a little bit more off of Kingdom Esports while they are currently left handicapped. So that is T1 turret in the middle lane taken down. That is going to help with some more influence into Kingdom Esports jungle, which RSG can reclaim.
Grant picks up his Sky Piercer. I think his second item should be a Malefic Gun. Or first item was a Malefic Gun, right? But hold on a second, Hoki. This time around, Lozy looks like he wants to pick him up once again. And oh my goodness, it feels like Kingdom Esports has a vendetta against Hoki. But this could be too much for the side of Kingdom Esports to chew. But PTBL, he really gets busted down by the side of Grant. And this 2 Sky Piercer stacks given over the side of Kingdom Esports already.
That is 1 for 1, 2 for 1. And they only lost FMM. So that is, I swear, Lolzy, whenever he's got flicker off cooldown, that is Hoki that will die.
Yeah, I feel like he hurt me, right? I was comparing Hoki to Lozy, right? And Lozy is like, let me show you who's the actual mentor.
This is the kind of aggression that I actually like to see out of Lolzy, and the very fact that they do have quite a bit of heroes that can actually enable those Tsunami Slams is absolutely lovely to me, right? Grant can just burst someone down, be it gonna be Nibiru or Bennett. They also do have FMM to just go straight in with the Feathered S-Strike.
I said corrected, there's a first item BOD.
Ah,
Holy moly, Grant actually has so much gold already. And on top of that, Sky Piercer, this is basically, you know, Beatrix's dream item build right there.
Yeah, looks like the Bruno indeed have first item onto the Heart's Claws followed by the Berserker's Fury.
Okay.
Just having these 2 items more or less gives Bruno a lot of power spike, but unfortunately it's not going to help too much per se, because by the time that he's got these 2 items, Yon has already picked up the Twilight Armor for himself, and Drinsanity is just, well, pretty darn annoying based on the kit.
Yeah, and Grant actually, as a Beatrix, your item builds are super expensive, right? Your first item is a BOD.
And
ages to build.
Yes. BOD, Malefic Gun, as well as the Sky Piercer. I think that this is more than enough for the Beatrix to go ham already.
He's already going ham.
Yeah, and I honestly, like, very, very honest, RSG, they don't have a lineup that can play into the late stages all that well. And Kingdom Esports lineup, they are actually accelerated already based on their economy, and they are playing that late game itemization they have already.
Yeah, they're definitely playing a late game itemization in late game, right? And don't forget, Kingdom Esports definitely does have a bit of an insurance, like what you mentioned, right? Beatrix is a very strong anchor in terms of late game defense with the Bennett's Rage. And also Bennett, and then after that, if he's playing from behind, easily swaps over to Renner, snipe people down.
With the Lord now gonna be marching in from the top lane, Kingdom Esports have got many ways to push. They can, of course, start to pick off someone again, because there is a flicker that is off cooldown for Lolzy. So that is, yeah, bye-bye Hoki once again. They can also sync up the waves altogether, or ultimately they can just slowly play this out, because this is a late game build once again. They don't have to rush this, but in the event that they manage to find a complete wipeout on RSG, why not just end the game?
And remember, don't forget, oh, hold on a second, Yon jumps in with the Violet Requiem, pops the Purify from the side of Taurus, and also the Heart Guard. Top side already cracked open. Kingdom Esports, don't forget, oh, here we go. Tsunami Slam, somebody from the side of RSG, right in. The members on the side, Kingdom Esports, pour all the damage. Hoki has to use the AOG to jump out as a defensive one. The Lord will get dealt with, but Kingdom Esports is not done yet. Mid lane turret already cracked open. Ash trying to output the damage, just barely tickles Insanity just a little bit. And Kingdom Esports with the Cloud, it's up to the side of RSG. SG trying to make some form of play right here with the map, but to no avail, because Kingdom Esports is successfully and mechanically pulling RSG apart.
The creep wave down to the bottom lane has successfully dealt with the inhibitor turret, and now left with a final fight.
Tsunami Slam right there, and also an ultimate FMM will follow up with a further airstrike, flickers forward. Jinzani picking up PTBL. Members-side RSG Singapore is running for the hills.
And it's going to be left with 3 members from the side of RSG. Kingdom Esports seems like they will want to play things a little bit slowly, especially since they have lost all of the creeps that could have ended the game for them. But regardless, they don't have a lot of HP to really work with the final push. Oh wait, never mind. There is still one more push that they can try to go for.
And don't forget, Grant can easily wave clear very quickly. Torres goes into the hard guard once again, but he's constantly getting shredded. Kingdom Esports setting up a no man's land, clearing out the minute waves over and over again. The Super Minions marching against RSG Singapore. Torres stepping forward just a little bit more with the hard guard, but that's just false confidence.
A single CC that has Angela on her is going to be more than enough to be able to expel the entire 5-man composition from Kingdom Esports. Now that is daring from Torres.
And if you're Joy, you're 150, you're not really doing well. You really need to snowball. And,
Yep.
and PTBL feels like he's barely touching either Jinsanity or Beat Grant, because Lozy is constantly pushing or catching Hoki into Deb's jaws, allowing Grant to pick up Skypiercer stacks over and over again. And now he looks, Grant looks extremely scary.
Ash can be very scary too, right? But in the mid stages of the game, that is just not gonna be Bruno's game. Bruno's real power spike comes in the early phase and the late phase. So once you have all items on the Bruno, yep, you can expect that all those burst damage is definitely gonna be scary. It's not gonna do too much to Yon though, because he does have the Twilight armor, but at least it only suppresses the first one.
PTBL, that's going to be Hoki once again getting thrown all the way into the sky, right into the snapping jaw on the side of Kingdom Esports. Grant down low just a little bit more, but it seems like PTBL couldn't even reach it. Murphy immediately gets deleted. That's a triple over the side of Grant, and Kingdom Esports forgets about the Lord. They want to end.
They are just gonna be rushing right in. Ash as well as PTBL, the only 2 members left. How are they supposed to clear up this entire wave that is supplemented with 4 members?
So many AoEs on the side of RSG Kingdom Esports, RSG Singapore. They're desperately trying to hold, and Ash immediately getting busted down. Grant picking up a godlike already as Kingdom Esports denies the dream of RSG Singapore.
Yet again, unfortunately for RSG, they did not get another series win as Kingdom Esports comes in clutch in the final game of this series. It's definitely really unfortunate for RSG as they were not able to play according to their win condition.
But there you go. Just look at Yon. 0-0-16. 0-0-16. Is it? Okay, it could be a UI bug.
No, 100% queue participation. That's why.
Huh.
It's because of 100% queue participation, and he didn't die. So in terms of the fact that he's got no death, it is generally more prioritized as an MVP.
Yeah, and not only just that, right? He's also setting up the rest of the member, especially from the side of Kingdom Esports. Lozy setting up just picking one person over and over again right into FMN's for the airstrike. Once Grant starts to work his way into a Skypiercer, it makes it so much easier, especially when you look at RSG side of the lineup, right? They're not really very tanky themselves. They're very mostly pseudo-tankiness from the side of their lifesteal and also Angela's hard guard.
So with that all said, this is what we get to see. The reason why is a Yon at an MVP. 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 versus 16. Yeah, you can't match that. So Jinsanity loses in the MVP favor. FMM died. Grant died. Lolzy died. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I mean, even in background, it's just interesting that our producer is like, wait, is it a UI bug or anything? But it is what it is, right? Like, Yon is just setting up his team to really victory, right? There's no way for the side of PTBL to basically touch Grant at all, and you've seen how FMM is constantly landing down the feather airstrike over and over again because he's given so much space to do so. And apart from Yon, I personally will have to give the secondary MVP over the side of Jinsanity, right? Like, I'm really loving this Alice pick right now. It's one of my favorite heroes in this current patch. I feel like Alice feels like a Joy. But the only difference is that Alice can also heal herself while dealing damage over and over again.
This is kind of what XP laners kind of is, right? They have sustenance, they have tankiness, they also can deal very good damage.
Isn't that broken?
It's just all rounder. So that was definitely at one point in time when I'm just thinking, you know what? Why can't all 5 heroes be fighters? So that way, everyone can't die, everyone can keep juggling damage, and everyone can deal damage too. There's a reason why now gold lane and XP lanes are completely dominated by the XP laners fighters.
Well, remember season 1 where your side lanes are mostly fighter side lanes as well? Yeah, we go back to the good old days.
Good old days.
Yep, and I remember back then when I was a marksman jungler.
Oh damn! Look at Grant. Total damage dealt is 70,000 damage. That's pretty good. In the meantime, for Ashe, he also did manage to deal very good damage. To be fairly honest, 81,000 damage. But this is technically very inflated numbers because these numbers are either to Drinsanity or to Lolzy
Or Yon.
or Yon. Yeah.
Yep, and I would say that if you look at the stats over and over again, I think the value of the Alice, I feel like Alice, if you're not ready to face the Alice, you really need to ban her away because the ultimate is the AoE of the ultimate is too big. You don't need to build any like magic items at all because you're just literally like absorbing everything. As long as you outlast the enemy, you're basically dealing damage to them. And especially when teams don't know how to deal with an Alice, they stack S5 trying to deal with you. You're basically laughing, and they're actually hurting yourself even more.
Yeah. So how do you deal with the Alice then?
Shred. Marksman shreds.
Here's the thing. That is kind of exactly what was that was what was done by RSG in game number 1.
That's
They
right.
have 3 shreds, but they still can't exactly deal with the infinite healing coming in from Uranus.
Alright, okay then.
I think that
The only way to deal with heroes like this is
Just
just
ban it.
Just perma-ban it.
yeah, just ban it.
Yep.
I
You got
guess
5 bans. Just use one of them.
not enough.
We need 10 bans now.